Welcome along, fellow drifters! Today is going to be the third part in a series called Event Guides, with this video focusing on National Conquest events. This is the most strategic and planning-based event currently in the game, so I'm only going to focus on explaining how the event works and not go through any functions that are similar to other events. Let's get into breaking down this event layer by layer and enjoy the special background music that only this event brings. So, the main premise of the event is that you need to race opponents best out of 3 style in every prefecture in Japan. At the beginning of the event, you will be given a prompt to select 3 cards that you want to use throughout the event. You need to choose your Vanguard, your Backbone, and your General. This will be known as your Force during the event. Once you've selected your 3 cards of choice, you will be asked to name your Force. This name can be changed at any time by tapping the name in the top left corner of the Force formation. These cards also can be changed and rearranged at any time during the event in the Force formation screen, which I'll elaborate on momentarily. Keep in mind that your gas usage in the event is a total of your 2 heaviest gas usage cars. So for example, if car 1 uses 300 gas, car 2 uses 250 gas, and car 3 uses 350 gas, car 2 will be ignored and your total gas usage will be car 1 and car 3, which in this example would be 750 gas. After selecting your force, you will then be tasked with selecting a prefecture to be your hometown. Your hometown is where you will start each time you complete a lap of Japan. Once you tap on a prefecture of your choice, you will be asked if you'd like to confirm it, as you cannot change your starting hometown. Now it's time to prepare to race. The first thing you will notice is the box next to the prefecture, which contains a bunch of information. We'll go through it bit by bit. First, you'll see the amount of forces defeated section, which shows you how many opponents you have defeated and how many in total are in that prefecture. Underneath that, you will see the siege bonus that is currently active. I will explain this in more detail later. And finally, at the bottom you will see the power-up conditions. If any of your cars in your force meet these conditions, those cars will be given extra power while you race in that prefecture. These power-up conditions apply for any prefecture that is in the same region. You may have noticed a little red badge just above the amount of forces defeated section. This is a guest badge. It means that a guest racer is in the prefecture you're currently looking at. I'll explain more about guest racers in just a moment. On the bottom right of the screen you will see 2 buttons. The first one is the blue difficulty switcher button. By tapping on this, you can change the difficulty multiplier to 0.6, 1.0, or 1.2. This changes the power of your opponent's cars and also changes how many points you will score. Once you are ready to enter the prefecture, you can press the Begin Sortie button. You are now in the opponent's selection screen. Here you'll be able to see the opponents you are up against and what cars they have selected for their force. Note that on the first lap of Japan, you will only face 1 opponent in each prefecture in your starting region, which is why it currently shows only 1 opponent. This prefecture contains a guest opponent, with each prefecture having a random chance at a guest opponent showing up. Guest opponents will use the most powerful featured event car as their Vanguard, Backbone, and General. It is also very likely for a guest racer to have multiple cars set up as their Vanguard, Backbone, and General. Generally they will be cars featured in the event, but they can also be cars that are not featured in the event, so keep that in mind. Additionally, they will use 2 NOS in each race. This creates quite a challenge that is very rewarding. Upon defeating a guest opponent, you will score 20 monthly tickets, 5 100 gas tanks, and 3 daily NOS for you to use during the event. Guest racers will have the event song Spark to accompany their appearance. Before beginning a race, you have the option to change your cars up. You can jump into the Force formation screen and rearrange your cars. You can jump into the Force formation screen and rearrange your cars, change up parts, and so on. During a National Conquest event, parts will be installed onto your cars instantly. This gives you a chance to make advantage of the region's power conditions to achieve maximum domination. You can tap the blue recommendation button to slot in the most powerful cars you currently have in your garage. Just be aware of the gas usage on the cars. Once you're ready to race, you will have 2 options to choose from to start the race. The orange Full Boost Start button will multiply your points by 1.5. and increase the power of your cars by 100, but you will use 1.5 more gas. The red Battle Start button will use a regular amount of gas. During the first and last 24 hours of the event, your gas usage is reduced by a half while you're on lap 1 of Japan. If you complete the first lap during the half gas period, your gas usage will revert back to normal. Your gas usage will also revert back to normal while you're still in lap 1, once the 24-hour period has passed. Once the race starts, in the background you will hear the song We Are One playing while you're facing any regular opponent. The song will change depending on what kind of opponent you are up against. For the first race, your vanguard will match up against the opponent's vanguard. On the screen right before the race begins, you'll be able to see your force's name, which prefecture you started in just above the force name, and 3 car symbols which display the current status of the battle in terms of how many wins and losses you currently have. Once you complete the first round, your vanguard will receive a circle if you win or a cross if you lose. You will then move on to the second round, with your backbone against your opponent's backbone, racing in the opposite direction this time. If by the second round the scores are tied, you will move on to the final round of your general against your opponent's general, and you will race in the opposite direction once again. Once you or your opponent scores 2 wins, the race is finished. When you move on to the race screen, you will be able to see all the rewards you've scored. All 3 cars in your force will all gain affinity even if you finish by round 2 and don't use the general. If any companions that are equipped to your cars have reward bonuses as skills, any wins will result in the reward bonuses being granted. This includes the companion from the general if you don't end up using the car. If you score a loss, however, any reward bonus skills the companion has on that car will not be granted. When you have conquered a prefecture, you will receive some monthly tickets as your prize, and you can now move on to one of the neighbouring prefectures. As you conquer prefectures, you will get closer to conquering the region. Once you've conquered 2 prefectures that surround another, you will gain a siege bonus granting an extra 50 power. For any other prefecture you conquer surrounding another prefecture, once you've hit the extra 50 power bonus, you will be granted an additional 50 power for each prefecture you defeat. This is where another layer of strategy comes into play. I'll show you an example now of a high siege bonus. By conquering all of the prefectures surrounding Saitama, including prefectures in neighbouring regions, I've gained a siege bonus that grants me an additional 300 power. If you plan your region and prefecture selections well, you can gain massive bonuses for specific prefectures. Combine that with the region's power conditions and you can mow down high power opponents with ease. In the description will be a full-scale event map that you'll be able to look at for easy reference. If by the end of a race you have conquered a region, on the first lap of Japan you will score 50 gold, enabling you to score a total of 350 gold by conquering all 7 regions. From the second lap of Japan onwards, you will only score 50 monthly tickets. With the region now conquered, you can now select which region you'd like to target next. Once you confirm your selection, you are locked to that region until you conquer it. Now you will notice that a purple pop-up has suddenly appeared. This is to let you know that a challenger has appeared in one of the prefectures you've just opened up. These challengers will stick around and don't disappear, but with the appearance of a challenger comes the opportunity for a Blitz bonus. If you defeat a challenger within 1 hour of them appearing, you will be given a 10-minute Blitz bonus. The Blitz bonus multiplier is dependent on what difficulty you defeat them on. The higher the difficulty, the higher the Blitz bonus. Challenges are much more difficult than guest races, as challenges are selected from a pool of players with the highest power possible in their forces. They don't use knots however, so you do not have to worry about your opponents getting sudden jolts of speed, but do be prepared to give it your all to defeat them. When you race a challenger for the first time, you will not be allowed to see the backbone or general in their force on the opponent's selection screen. This makes car planning much harder, so you will be going in blind first time around. If you lose and go back to the opponent's selection screen, the cars will be visible to you, allowing you to plan before you give it another go. Challengers will have the song Challenging Battle accompanying their appearance. Once you have conquered the last region on the map, you will receive a Spirit's EX ticket for completing the first lap of Japan. You have now conquered the nation. You are now given the option to start your next lap of Japan, allowing you to go through every prefecture once again. If you decide to begin your second lap, you will be placed back at your hometown prefecture, and from this point onwards, you will face 3 opponents in every prefecture. Anytime you complete a lap of Japan after the first lap, you will receive a Spirits ticket instead of a Spirits EX ticket. That is the entire breakdown of National Conquest events done. Now it's time to provide you all of tips and tricks to help you dominate the event. Tip number 1. Speedrun the map with full boost constantly on the first lap. With the first 24 hours of the event giving you half gas usage on your first lap, this is the best moment to make use of the full boost feature. If you're looking to gain lots of points quickly, you should equip your most powerful cars and make sure you've got the highest bonus car and bonus companion in your force ready to go for the constant 200% bonus points, if you can get those high bonuses. If you're looking to use the least amount of gas possible, use eco cars for your entire lineup and use full boost non-stop. On the lowest difficulty, you'll be able to beat every opponent with ease. You may end up using just 100 gas tanks and possibly a few S gas tanks to clear the entire map. However you decide to go about it, make the most use out of it. Tip number 2. Start in the Hokkaido and Tohoku region, or start in the east section of the Chubu region. Starting in these areas gives you an opportunity to gain a big power bonus in 5 different prefectures. On the screen is a map with a drawn route of the most optimal route in the event, with numbers next to each region to show what order you should be completing them in. In Region 1, you will see an X in the Niigata prefecture. Start there and follow the route, with each dash you come across being the next prefecture you need to conquer. If you follow this route, you'll cruise through the event easy. I'll leave a link in the description for this picture. And tip number 3, be flexible with your setup. Every region you jump into, the region power-up conditions change, which gives you an opportunity to use different cars throughout the event, as well as companions with your cars. Parts installing instantly during the event encourages this and gives you a shot at taking down much tougher opponents. If you would prefer to stick with the same cars throughout the entire event, consider changing the positions of your cars when you face tough opponents. You can drag and drop your cars in the force formation screen, allowing you to swap the positions of your cars if one car is potentially stronger than the other to make defeating an opponent easier. Do also keep in mind that only the highest bonus car and the highest bonus companion will count in your force. So if you have a 100% bonus companion and a 100% bonus car, they both don't need to be combined to give the maximum bonus. You can have your bonus car with any regular companion, and you can have any car with the bonus companion. It helps to make setups a lot more flexible. That is going to be all for this video, since this has gone on to be quite a long tutorial. If you found this guide to be useful, please leave a like on the video, leave a comment if you wish, and subscribe to stay updated for future content. I will see you all next time.